Mic, check, and we are in this thing. Dang.
Everybody doing?
Mike, what was low on it?
How everybody doing?
Yes, you are now on Talk Your Culture. Well, if you already chimed in, I'm late. But we are on Talk Your Culture. I am your host, Chris Fagan. This is my guest, World Skin, Shedrick Mann.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back live again, man. Last time we was live was at the championship at the Civic Center between No Handouts and Double R.
It still was a good, great basketball game.
It really was. For the first year, it was a little edgy, a little rough around the edges, but we're gonna trim all that up. We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna come back next year, maybe with more teams. But today episode is about a good friend of mine. We worked together for a long time. I've seen him go through quite a few transformations. So, naturally this show is about rebounding and recovering. And he's an expert in all kinds of things of that nature. So he's been fighting and defeating all sorts of things for a long time. So,
Praise God.
There's nobody probably better to talk about rebounding and recovering than my man to my right here. So, how old are you now?
46 years old.
46. Made it to the halfway mark. You know what I'm saying? So, the first thing that you had to fight and battle with is diabetes.
Yes.
That's your first war with life. So when did you first realize you had that? By what age you was?
I want to say I was 28 years old when I found out I had diabetes, man. It started off being, I was just extra tired all the time. Sleeping for no reason, and went to the doctor and found out I was diabetic.
That had to been life changing, you change your lifestyle to do better, to change.
Yeah, it was huge. It was a huge lifestyle change. Trying to how to eat better, be better, try and exercise a little bit. Like, man, it's a battle I fight every day.
Yeah. Well, I'll be the first to say, if not the first, the last to say, you're much smaller than you were when you found out. Much, much smaller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my uncle is a diabetic. I know a lot of people who are, and they come into, our workplace and they talk about it.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And it's a tough situation. You know what I mean? It's really tough. And you said you was 28.
Yeah.
So, this has been a good, 20 something, almost 20 year,
Yeah.
fight to try to win, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm gonna just say this before we go further. I'm proud of you because the type of things that we're about to get into, it takes a lot of courage, you know what I'm saying, and dedication to, change and doing better to open up about these type of things that about to open up about, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people could be, going through the same thing and just ashamed to say it or admit it, you know what I mean? Because it could be embarrassing or, you don't want anybody to think less of you, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that this episode could touch some people that could be possibly going through some of the similarities that, you're about to speak on, you know what I mean? Because I know, I like to play a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly, let me say this, I'm really not playing about, winning the $10 million, you know what I'm saying? I've always said what I do if I do that, I just think $10 million is the right amount of money to just, experiment, you know what I'm saying? But, when I say it, everybody say the same thing, don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't do it because you'll get stuck. you know, especially with $10 million, you know, you bound to do worse than the average person. You know what I'm saying? And I do know out of all the years I've said that and talked about it, you've always been relentless about, you know, changing my mind.
Yeah.
Just from experience, personal experience, and what you've seen in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Growing up, because I didn't grow up in them kind of neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that the neighborhood I grew up in didn't have guys who did it, because they did, but they generally wasn't around me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I didn't find out they was doing it when I was, you know, in my 20s. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you know, you started experimenting with, you know, drugs. You know,
you're like 21 years old, Chris.
Yeah.
Like,
now this
started off just marijuana, but like it escalated into some things some years after.
So this is what I'm saying. It's just an experiment to start with.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And then it escalates.
It escalates into that demon.
Okay, so if you had to say, what do you think fueled that escalation the most?
I don't know, man. I ain't gonna say my mama didn't care, cause she cared. I just had a bunch of freedom, being where I was raised, and just being what's name, and to be truthful, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was my choice not to. It just something I experimented with, and hey, I liked it, dog. I mean, I liked it a little too much then.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know all about it because, you know, I didn't experiment in that particular drug. For those of y'all who don't know what drug we are talking about, we are obviously talking about
cocaine.
Right. So I didn't experiment in that particular drug. I was experimenting in something else.
Yeah.
You know, they would call it X pills.
I tried a lot of drugs.
Now, rumor has it that these
marijuana and cocaine were the one that kind of locked me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, marijuana wasn't so bad. It's still a drug, man. And, man, the roller coaster cocaine took my life on. Hey.
We're going to get into that. But listen, you know, rumor has it that the X pills had multiple drugs in it, you know what I'm saying? They said they had cocaine in it, they had a little meth in it, and all other kinds of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't really know that until later on.
Yeah.
What was all in it, you know? But I experimented, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that roller coaster, and it was very fun. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I started experimenting from my own personal reasons. I just wanted to see it. But for me, what fueled my escalation was the women. It's the women. You know, I was ashamed for anybody to even knew that I was doing it. But, you know, a drug is like that. You can't hide it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be tell signs. So eventually they all figured it out. Yeah. And their response to it was totally different from what I had thought it was going to be. I thought they was going to look down on me and you know, start thinking that I was, you know, this lame or this fall off. But it was the very opposite. They was in love with it, and they often asked me to do it, you know, the upcoming night. You know, the weekend would be there, and they would all ask the same thing, you know. Is you going to be rolling tonight? I mean, I wasn't even thinking about doing it, but since you vibing, I might as well, you know what I'm saying? And it just turned into that. And I ain't gonna lie, the drug itself, it made me more charismatic than I've ever been. You know what I'm saying? And it was very easy for a woman to gravitate to that. So, and I fed off of that, you know. And I knew that if I, you know, pop off, I'm finna be kicking mad game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't know what it did to the eyes, but it just made them guys sparkle like you just was serious when you was talking.
It definitely boosted their ego.
You know. It's just like you couldn't even taste the alcohol. It was like water, you know. But the roller coaster. What did that roller coaster first start for you? When you just felt like this thing could be getting out of my control.
Well, I ain't never been like a troublesome person, but like some stuff went on one night, man, and I was under the influence of the drug, and I got into it with I would say a good friend of mine. He's right today, me and him are good friends, but like, and some stuff went out, so really a misunderstanding, and I ended up stabbing the guy, and he was my friend. We were cool. I mean, it was just a big old misunderstanding, and
you stabbed him.
I stabbed him, and I went to jail that night, but I got out like the next morning or something. But like, I feel like being on that drug helped me not have any understanding, because like, I don't know if the situation was worth me stabbing him or whatever, but like, you know, it happened. It happened, and that was just one of the things. What's the name? But like, I ended up on probation. What it was in the drug. By the time I put me on probation, the drug had took over in my life. I don't think it had took over in my life. Like, that's all I wanted to do. Like, I wouldn't bother nobody.
So I
had no kids. I made good money at the barbershop, and that's all I wanted to do.
So it started to show up at home.
At home first, yeah.
Unnecessary arguments.
A lot of unnecessary
small arguments turned into big old.
Shortly, I got married after that, and it affected that. And like, man, I just wasn't myself. I wasn't myself on it, but I enjoyed doing it. So I don't know. I didn't see the need to change, because it was small things that was affected that I should have stopped before it escalated into big things.
Right.
That, like, you know.
Right. Right. I've seen a lot of study about it, and I've heard it in all kinds of wide perspectives, and you know, I've heard some psychiatrists and, you know, some physicians. They've spoken in a different light about it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I think when things are done outside of moderation is when it becomes too heavy to a person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's a lot of people who enjoy it recreationally as if it was just a can of Coca-Cola or you know, a shot of whiskey.
It affects people different.
Yeah.
What work for one person don't work for the other.
See, that's what it was for me. Like, at first it was just something I would do on the weekend, like one day out of that weekend, you know, preferably Saturday. And try to recover Sunday, you know what I'm saying? And come back strong Monday.
It got where it was a weekend thing.
Yeah.
It started escalating into Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. Like where you lose the grip of it. But it's okay, because I felt like it was okay, because I was making good money, and
but even with that,
I have kids to look after or nothing, man. I was just this selfish ass person.
But
man.
even with that, like the money started disappearing. Like on Monday evening, I'd be like, dang.
Yeah, you been on that $2,000-$3,000 in your pocket.
I'm on zero right now.
You can't even buy yourself a McDonald's cheeseburger, man. Like, where this money going to?
Yeah. So
you lying about it forever, man.
Yeah. So for me, definitely how it started escalating into the week again. The women, you know, and you know they would just call any time of the week, you know, and just say anything close to where it looked like we finna do something adult like.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey. It's funny how a woman can make you.
So, here's my breaking point, and I'm going to let you tell me when your breaking point was. Here's what my breaking point. We was coming up on a holiday. It was, I don't know if it was Easter or Thanksgiving, but I can't remember which one it was. But usually on the holidays, it'd be a rush in business.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be a lot of people wanting their hair removed. So I knew that the only way I was going to be able to work those long hours after that incredibly, you know, long weekend, I had to do what I was doing. Right?
Yeah.
So I went like on a 6-7 day thing where I was just every 8 hours I'm making sure I could keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see where this is headed. I'm better than this. I'm much stronger than this. What am I doing? I still want to be a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this can't be what I'm doing. So that was my breaking point, and it was very easy for me. You know what I mean? Like, I did miss the fun, but I did not miss the other side of the fun.
Yes.
Because it's way worse on the other side of the fun. It's way worse. You feel like crap.
The worst always outweigh the bad.
Everybody getting on your nerve. You know what I'm saying? It's just an awful feeling.
Like getting on your nerve, man.
That was my breaking point when I realized, I was like, I cannot do the next day.
I thought I used to think I would always use that drug, but one night.
Yeah, that was your break. Yeah, what's your breaking point?
One night, I was over some girl's house, just chilling.
I just said that. What I say?
I was over some women. And I was trying to just have somewhere to duck off and do what I do and go home. But this particular night, some more guys showed up, like out of nowhere, and like we was in there having fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Spending a bunch of money, man. You know, like we spent a bunch of money that night. Bunch of money. So that the night went on, and so I went home, and I was awakened the next morning by police officers. Well, somebody called me and told me the police was looking for me. They wanted to see me. So when I called the police, he was asking me could I come to the station. I know I haven't done anything, but like the stuff they were saying, like let's go get to the bottom of it. Some of the guys I was with that night say me and another guy robbed him. Well, at least that was his story to tell the people what he had spent his money doing. The police caught me to the police station. In other words, I got there, and the guy, he's sitting there. So I was like, man, we need to get everybody down here, because like, that ain't how the night played out. I ain't robbed nobody. Like, if that's the case, I got robbed too. You know, my money gone also. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, the guy sitting there.
So technically, the money wasn't, nobody took it, it was spent.
It was spent. It was spent on drugs. On drugs. I'm telling you, man. Like, I ain't trying to talk about it because it's funny, but it helped me through my sobriety, because I ain't never want to go through that again.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of embarrassing, because we sit here at the police station, and these folks looking at that like, no, I need everybody to get in here, because I don't want to tell the story but once. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. And, like, if it's a lie, the people who you call in here gonna verify that's a lie, though. But, you know, the guy got there, and he was like, we robbed him. I'm like, when was I with you? You know what I mean? Because I had never been with him that night.
So
like, we was in the same play, but I had got there and he showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with me, like even when he showed up, I was trying to get through doing what I was doing so I could get off and ride them. You know
so in other words, you had to open up about what you was doing to the law enforcement.
I had to tell my secret to law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, it wasn't a secret, but I had to tell like what I'm trying to keep on the cover to law enforcement. And then, like, you know, the whole while I was sitting at the police station, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do this again. But like when the investigators get in the room, they don't know what went on. I'm like, you know, I'm talking to the guy like, you want me to tell them, or you gonna tell them? Because we got to clear my name today.
Ain't nobody robbed nobody. We just spent our money.
Yes. I said, man, we've been on drugs all night. I'm like, I'm geeked up now. I was in the police station. I was geeked up then. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
No, it's real.
But the reality of the situation was, man, we both, I could have told the police y'all robbed me. If that's the case, you know, like, because we both spent our money on this drug we were chasing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, the breaking point was the embarrassment of having to let people know what was going on in my life. Yeah. And anything you do that you're embarrassed of, you're about quit doing it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like, thank the Lord, today I'm almost 5 years clean, man. Like, and I ain't scared to talk to nobody about it, man. Like, hey, man, hey.
So listen,
this was a breaking point.
I wish I had more people in here that's willing to be open up about it, so I could get more than one perspective. But since it's just you, then I gotta ask you, and you know, I think you got enough experience to try to answer the question, because this is why I said when I get to $10 million, I'm gonna try it. You know, because I just want to know. I've always been curious. Because I wasn't curious about why the X pill lasted as long as it did. All you had to do was take half of a pill, and for the next 8 hours, you was a Casanovan / animal. You know what I mean? So it was the meth, obviously. If that's what if it was really in there, like they said, well, it was the meth. That's what propelled this for those many hours. Yeah. But I never understood what it was about cocaine that doesn't last long to cause people to want to continuously.
Because it definitely don't make you social. It's definitely. I'm just being for real.
I just said.
Like, people sit around in groups and this, but it's definitely not a social drug.
Right. But I never understood why guys would roll blunts and smoke all of them back to back. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I used to be in that little chain now when we passing them around, and it was always Confucius while we was doing it. But I never thought to ask until after a while. We was in the club, and it was like 13 of us, and it was like 13 blunts, and they all was being passed, and it's like, some guys puff and pass, some guys like to puff and hold. So now these guys starting to run into each other. Now I'm sitting here with 2 or 3 in my hand. I'm like, who this on? They're like, it's on.
What's the purpose?
I'm like, what is we doing? I'm like, I got 3 blunts. I don't know who to give them to. I'm like, I don't want to hit neither one of them no more. Like, I don't even know if I can hit another one and get any higher. Like I'm afraid to get any higher. Yeah.
That's how it is with cocaine, man. Hey, man, you don't. You never think about not doing it till the next morning when you're broke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can have $400-500 in your pocket last night. You don't woke up, man. You can't.
Women.
Man, what?
Yeah, good time women make you do it, and the next thing you know.
Especially, boy. It make it escalate.
Great
time.
They gonna
mess up anyway. But I'm gonna make it escalate.
I almost tore the bottom piece of my tongue out one day.
Chewing.
Nope. I was trying to stick it in the woman as far as I could.
But yeah, man.
I do not miss it.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't miss it.
I got tired of being broke.
Yeah.
The barbershop standing up all day, man.
Hey, if
had you $2,000-3,000 in your pocket, man, you get someone like a slap food, man.
Hey, if you're out there and you struggling financially and you doing either one of these things we talking about and you're afraid to admit it, hey man, talk to me, man.
Man, people ask me how I do it, man. It's a day at a time, man. Like, I don't know what next week, but right now, in life, I ain't trying to go down that road. I lost a lot of good things in life messing around with that drug, man.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one thing we know about time, I lost so much time, man. You'll never get it back, man. Yeah. You spend the rest of your life trying to figure out how, but it ain't gonna happen, man. You just, hey, boy, anybody stay drug free if you can, man. I'm just trying to tell you.
I'm telling you, coming from an expert, but I
ain't seen no success stories. You feel what I'm saying? Like, everybody that using them drugs, I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, they grab hold to you and won't let you go, man.
Ask yourself this question. Am I doing this drug or is it doing me? Okay? If you can figure the answer out to that question, you might catch grip. Alright? But 2019, man, a lot of people ran into the same problem. COVID.
Yeah, it claimed a lot.
It paid you a visit.
Yeah. Hey man, I can remember like yesterday, I was sitting in the barber. I had just came back from a hand injury. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting in the barber shop and Mike was talking about how he had caught COVID. He had been testing.
Mike stayed out of work almost a month and a half.
So that Monday morning, I had been to my doctors, and they was like, "You need to go get your COVID vaccines and stuff." So I went and made me an appointment at Walgreens. Took the first round. I was good for that day. The next day, I was feeling. It was a Tuesday. I was feeling kind of. Like I was kissing the color, like, what the heck going on with me? But that Wednesday, I couldn't even stand it, man. I went to the hospital, found out I had COVID, man. And they took me on I was in the hospital like 21 days, man. I mean, it caused a lot of more underlying health issue with me. It set my diabetes in the whack. It messed with my kidneys, my heart. Like that, it took me on a roller coaster, man. I'm still trying to fight back from some of that stuff, man. Like to this day, I still have scar tissue in my lung. I suffer from stage 3 kidney failure, and I got congestive heart failure. But like, I ain't gonna let that control me. Like, I wake up every day like and just thank the Lord.
But you know, that's what this episode is about. You a man of many rebounds and recoveries.
Yeah,
so this is a heck of a story. I mean, is it safe to say?
I didn't never think I'd start back cutting hair till like a couple of months ago.
Right.
And,
first of all, shout out to the hospital in our local county. It's only one of few hospitals in these local counties. They doing the best they can. We know they're not the greatest place to go to, and you down and out. Yeah. But let's just be real. You really wouldn't have anywhere to go if it wasn't for that place. Like, it's been more helpful than it's been hurtful.
Yeah.
But with that being said, they do not have the proper technology. Yeah. And maybe they don't have the proper physicians for things of that magnitude.
It wasn't until my girlfriend, shouts out to Martika, she just, I don't know, man, I just couldn't get myself together, man. Like, my strength and all that, I just couldn't get myself together. She took me to Piedmont Hospital in it's McDonough. It's McDonough, Georgia. And man, let me tell you something, man. Them doctors got to working on me, and next thing I know, I was walking, talking, moving around. They really just come to my house and rehab, like, because I got very weak, like. I mean,
COVID, this is after you was released. You was around the house trying to pull yourself back together. This lasted almost a month, if not a month. Yeah.
I was out of work for about 18 months. I want to say 18, right at 18 months, man. And like, it's a daily battle, but man, them people in Piedmont, shouts out to Piedmont Hospital, man. Them folk, man, they worked me back to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I got a lot of underlying health issues, but that stuff I'm gonna have to try and fix on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, not fix on my own, but like, you know what you had, you can and you can't do. But you know, they go back to the drugs. The drugs, all the years of abusing drugs, or what caused all the health issues with me anyway. But like, the COVID escalated them to another height. Like, man, that stuff like took me out of here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it gave us a scare. You know, it gave us a scare. You know, you and some others. You know, and some of us didn't make it. Some of us did check out. You know what I'm saying? Some of us did check out. You know, a lot of elderly people, but some young people, you know, checked out. And it was a scare for us because it was trending. You know, people was not, recovering. And, you know, at the time when Mike had it, they had not gave it a name yet. Yeah, nobody knew that. Like, everybody was contracting it, but there was like no hospital could tell nobody what was going on. They're like, it's not the flu, it's something else. You know,
my stepson, Jordan got the COVID, and it was like it never happened to him. Like, we was supposed to, we still had to quarantine with him. Or whatever.
Yeah, my sister, my nephew. You know, they wind up having it. They didn't have, many side effects. It was very little side effects. Now, after they got rid of COVID, they would get like regular colds that would beat the crap out of them like it was COVID, but it wasn't COVID. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just the side effect of it, because I think a lot of people aren't the same. None of us are the same.
Yeah, I had a bunch of common cold growing up. Boy, it wasn't nothing like that COVID, man.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't know if I thought I was invincible to it, but boy, when it got a hold to me. Great. Let me tell you something, man. I don't never want to. I was in the hospital. I just remember going to the hospital, being admitted. When I knew anything, if I had been there 21 days, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
Yeah. Hold on. I got some. Check this. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. That coach was real quick. Shouts out to the community, man, because there's a lot of people in the community looked out for me when I was sick, man.
I mean, you is a true testament to rebounding and recovering. You have went through some things.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's really a blessing to just see it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I'm proud of you for being open enough and having enough courage to come on here and admit those things. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, before we end this episode, I always like to say something nice. So I got some sketchy pictures over here that you may or may not have hard time saying something nice about. You know, very fun to me to see people try to dig in.
That's a nice looking guy right there, man.
It is. Yeah.
Man, it's nice.
We got a lot. I got a lot of good response out of this post when I posted it. So I hope if you're watching live, appreciate y'all coming in. If you're gonna watch it later, still appreciate you watching it later. But let's play this game real quick. My man here, Pookie, played by Chris Rock.
I bumped into the guy a lot of times that night, man. Hey, man. Hey, man, say, man. He motivation, y'all. I'm gonna put it like that. He definitely motivation, man, because I don't know, man. I went through a lot. I went through a lot of sleeping in my car. A lot of stuff people don't know about, man, but like, you know what I'm saying?
For the young
motivation.
For the young people who don't know who Pookie is, it is a character in a movie called New Jack City. He was a drug addict.
Yeah.
And he wound up getting clean. And they used him to try to go in and infiltrate the drug lords. And I think he wound up getting killed, right?
Yeah, he found himself back in the same place he fought his way out.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess if we could say anything nice, Pookie was a hero to
He's definitely motivation
the community.
He motivation in the world. I do not want my life to be like.
This is Tim Duncan and David Robinson. I believe the San Antonio Spurs might have won this championship that year.
Wow. Hey, this is my first time seeing this creep.
I won the Western Conference Finals. I'm not sure if you can see clear of what's going on in this picture, but he's giving him a hug from behind. And it looks like he's giving him a nice smell of the neck. Now, I don't know about y'all, but a basketball game is like 48 minutes. So you're going to be sweating for pretty much the duration of that game. And this looks like this at the end of the game. So I know Tim is nowhere near smelling, fresh. But David Robinson is giving him a nice smell to the neck there.
And he got his nose.
And he got him cuffed here. And here, the lower region, his front is pressed up against Tim Duncan's rear.
I tell you that.
Yeah, so
we got nothing nice,
we got to say something nice. I mean, I think moving on. Alright, this next picture probably. I know this next picture probably gonna bother my guest, but that's what this game is all about, bothering people. So I'm gonna just put it up there.
Wow. Crib. That day, that night, that score, that game, almost called me most surprised. I'm a die-hard Falcons fan. Well, that hurt more than a lot of
I think everybody in our community knows
that hurt, man. I ain't got that nice stuff.
Look at these Patriot fans. Now, obviously, this score wasn't up on this banner because there ain't no way these people gonna be that happy at this point of the game. Because this the third quarter with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left, so these fans aren't that happy. But But just the idea of this score, you know, with these people, you know what I'm saying?
Shouts out to Tom Brady.
We didn't say anything nice about the last pick. We all, you know, we one for one right now. Can we go 2 for 1, or we ain't got nothing nice to say?
It's a classic example of showing you it take 4 quarters. You had to stay at it for 4 quarters, man. If you get relaxed anytime, man, it can turn into that.
I'm sorry. Shout out to the Falcon fans. I'm sorry. I don't mean to, stick. I don't mean to stick a finger in the sore, open wounds. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's just perfect moment to try to bother you guys, because I really tell you the truth. Let me say this: I really don't even really watch football like that. But for whatever reason, I always watch the Falcons. I don't know what that is. I just always watch the Falcons.
They
you know,
scare me none.
They got some wonderful looking jerseys. They always have. I love them. And it's ATL, man. I mean, you know what I mean. I know a lot of the haters or the fans who have loved to see the Falcons have success this night.
Yeah, I definitely.
As did I. You know, but you know, something about the Birds. I just watch them. I do. I don't care if they win or lose. I still turn and look at them.
Every Sunday, like,
yeah,
something different gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Before I'm gonna wrap this up, we're gonna get out of here. Shouts out to Jordan Poole. You played great against us last night. I'm glad to see you about your business. I'm glad to see that you understands that. Hopefully you understand that Draymond, you know, it's just Draymond, and that's just the way he leads sometimes, and that's just what great leaders do. Great leaders punch some of their teammates. It just is what it is. Yeah. There have been times where maybe we wanted to punch each other in our respective workplace. You know, I'm glad we never have. But there's been time where maybe we wanted to, you know what I'm saying, and it happens. You know, I think that most championship teams do beat each other up at practice, you know, in the locker room. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. So shout out to Poole. You know what I mean? If you was a Laker, man, I'd love you. But since you're not, I just gotta like you from afar. And go Lakers. I want all the smoke this year. Anybody want to talk that Lakers smack me? Bring it on, man. Yeah. I think we got something going on this year. I'm always at you Celtics throats. You know what I'm saying? I'm forever going to be at your throat. You know, shout out to Bill Russell for, paving the way for so many colored people in early on in this sport. But we got to make sure we dust y'all every time we see y'all.
Yeah.
I love you, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the rest of you guys. Sorry about what happened to your head coach, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We still got to beat on you. Yep. Anything you want to tell anybody?
I just want to say shout out to my girlfriend, Martika Harvey, and my stepson, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all keep me motivated, man. Keep me lifted.
Yes, sir. And for those of y'all who
really thank y'all for that.
Yeah. And those of y'all who are watching, please share this video as many times as you want to. Get this thing rolling, because this, to me, was a very good episode, man. I'm happy to do this one.
And anybody trying to be forgetting about their sobriety, man, we can start a help group or whatever, man.
Oh, promise.
I'm willing to sit around and try to motivate you to
all day,
do what you need to do, man.
Come in the shop, man. We talk about this stuff, man. It feels good to talk about it. We get that stuff out.
I live by a new motto in life, man. I see clearly now.
Mm-hmm.
The cocaine is gone. Yes, I really do.
Yeah.